and welcome to the ROCKATX online worship experience. You're getting ready to experience God on another level. Whatever you're seeking from God for your life is available for you as you praise, hear the word, and transform your situation. While you're worshiping with us, feel free to interact with our online ministers in the chat and share this broadcast with your friends and family so they can join you online. Also, make sure you subscribe and follow the ROCKATX on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram to stay connected to all the Rock is doing. Now, shake off the worries of the week and get ready to give God some praise. Service will begin soon.
I don't lose. I want to start off here. I told you this is the jumping off part, but I want to stay here just for a second. Joshua chapter 24, verse 11 through 15. Then you went over the Jordan and came to Jericho, and the men of Jericho fought against you. Also the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. But I delivered them into your hand. I sent the hornet before you, which drove them out from before you. Also the two kings of the Amorites, but not with your sword or with your bow. I have given you a land for which you did not labor, and cities which you did not build, and you dwell in them. You eat the vineyards and the olive groves which you did not plant. Now therefore, fear the Lord. Serve him in sincerity and in truth. Put away the gods of which your fathers served on the other side of the river and in Egypt. Serve the Lord. And if it seems evil to you to serve the Lord, choose for yourself this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your father served, which were on the other side of the river, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you now dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. You may take your seats. I want you to understand something about this particular scenario that really blessed me, and I have to admit, for a minute confused me. It confused me for the same, or really, I guess, the equal and opposite reason that it blessed me. It blessed me because God starts out with all that he did. He states emphatically, you went over the Jordan and all the things that you had to overcome to get to this spot. Now, they're in the promised land. And so they've had all these battles and they've had all of these enemies, kings and people. And they won over and over again. They keep winning over and over again. And they are in a victorious moment. And in this victorious moment, I thought it was strange that God would tell the man of God to ask them who they want to serve. I thought it was very interesting that at this moment of great victory, that God would say, let them know that they got to make a choice. It shows here, it indicates to me that One of the most dangerous places to be is victorious. It's a very, very vulnerable spot to be when you won. Because when you win, there is a human tendency to relax. That's why it's so hard in any sports program, whether it's college, whether it's high school, whether it's professional. It's so hard to repeat. Because when you've climbed the mountaintop, it is the human tendency to have a letdown, to relax, and want to sit back and think about all the great things we've done. Many great champions and Super Bowl victories have talked about the day after the Super Bowl. You really have a hard time getting with a lot of your teammates who you fought and bled with, because everybody is busy signing endorsement deals. Because you made it to the top. Everybody's traveling to Disney World. Everybody's signing sneaker deals. Everybody's, because at this moment now you can make the most money you've ever made. And you are the face of franchises. You are that man or that woman. And so when you win, everybody's signing you up. And so you can get so busy in the business of winning that you forget about the business of winning. Victory is one of the most vulnerable spaces that you can ever be in. I remember when we bought our facility and we closed on our facility, and we were excited because in just a few months we pulled ourselves together and raised over $300K. And just bam, threw it in the bank and knocked it out. Didn't need an extension. Didn't need any further negotiations. It was just the smoothest close. It was like, you're gonna close on this day. The money's in the bank. There you go. All right, let's knock this out. Went closed. Bam, it was done. Signed, keys. Here you go. Done. And we were happy. We celebrated. We sat back and we said, look at what we have done. And then almost immediately, there was an outcry from these winners saying, why would you want us to work now? Why we just got the space. Why would we start working and renovating in it? We won. It's ours. It's not going nowhere, Pastor. We got the keys. The deed has been signed. The contract has been. It's done. The ink is dry. The title company said it's all gone through. Everything. Let's chill out. Victory is the most vulnerable spot, because we have these men and women who have fought for some 40 years to get into the land of Canaan, and then fought some 8 years to clear out all of the warring families and factions, the Girgashites, the Jebusites, the Canaanites, all the ites. And I just thought it so strange that Joshua would then say to them, I want to talk to you about who you're going to serve now. Because it would seem to me like it would be obvious. God did it, God did it, God did it, God did it, God did it. So I want you to understand that when you are in a position where you can say, God did it, God did it, God did it, God did it, there's an enemy crouching at your door. Telling you, good, you've done well. You deserve a break today. So I want to talk to you tonight about just some ideas, because Joshua has to say this: as for me and my house, which meant as a leader of people, he still understood that I've got to put some things in you. I've got to change how you address some things. I got to change how you operate. I've got to impact how you think and how you process, because if I don't, we're going to have a mess in a short amount of time. Am I making sense? Now, go to my next slide. So I want to share with you these kingdom mastery ideals. I've been talking to you about them for the last several months, but we've gotten stuck on emotional stability. That to master your life in the kingdom, you really got to become emotionally stable. Come on, just say it out loud. Say emotionally stable. That means you got to know how to not just get yourself together. You got to know how to keep yourself together. That means the external circumstances of life cannot shake you and move you and jerk you around. Ephesians tells us this, that how do I know that I am mature? How do I know that I'm growing? How do I know that I am becoming the perfect man or the mature man? It says that I would not be tossed to and fro. So I've got to now keep myself emotionally stable. Am I making sense? So that you got to be, this is not a natural thing. You've got to be taught emotional stability. And then the second thing you got to be taught is intellectual development. You've got to learn how to develop the greatest muscle that God ever gave you, your brain. That you've got to learn now, because whether you know it or not, I'm going to help somebody, and I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings. Whether you know it or not, you use your brain to get to a certain point in life, and if you're not aggravated and irritated and agitated a long time, you will allow that brain to atrophy. You will stop reading. You will stop growing. You will stop learning, because you figure, I'm here now. Intellectual development. Oh, I'm getting quiet tonight. So I guess I got to I told you, I'm going to give you some practical stuff. And the third thing is you got to learn spiritual parameters. You got to learn how to operate with God within the right parameters. You've got to make sure that you learn how to, that God is who he is, even though your situation is what it is. Parameters. That means you've got to learn how to say, this is who he is, and this is how I love him, and this is why I love him, and this is who he is, and he loves me even though I'm going through this. Your situation can't cause you to question the reality or the emotional stability of God. Why would God let me go through this if I have done that? Oh, it's getting quiet. I don't know if y'all are asleep or thinking. Spirit. So I want you to understand this: emotional stability. Say it out. Emotional stability, intellectual development, and spiritual parameters. Now let's talk about emotional stability for a second. Now, so to become emotionally stable in the kingdom, these are things you got to master. I'm going to help you. I want you to say this. These are things you got to learn. These are things you got to master. Number one, you got to master handling rejection. The Bible says Jesus came to his own, and they received him not. So you've got to understand, and you got to master how to deal with, how to handle, and how to look at somebody who's supposed to love you, and how to have them reject you to your face. You've got to learn how to accept that and get this, and accept it to the point where whatever they do to you and whatever injustice they do to you is done. And how do I know, Dr. Moody, that I've handled it? That I actually, when I have the opportunity, I place them in Goshen. What, Dr. Moody? What are you talking about? When I have the opportunity to get them back, those who have done me wrong and rejected me, what I did, what Joseph did, my brain was like Joshua, Jacob. I was all the I was Jack, John. What Joseph did is interesting because Joseph went through hell for some 17 years. And then he now is sitting as the right-hand man of Pharaoh. And when he has the opportunity to get them back, he does not just say, I forgive you, but because that's one phase. But he says this, you guys. He says, I want to preserve the most fertile land in this region for y'all. That fertile land is Goshen. That means you're not really forgiving somebody until you wish the best for them. What? Not till you say, I'm going to let you live. Some of us thought we had graduated. I'll let you live. I could have killed you, see? Could have killed you. That's because the God's working in my life. I could have killed you. You don't understand. But how do you handle rejection? When you want the best for them. What do you mean? Jesus was rejected. And while Jesus is on the cross, he looks at them while they have beat him and while he has suffered. What does Jesus say? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I'm accepting all of it. And while I'm accepting all of it, I'm wishing the best for them. Am I making sense? See, I want you to get it. That you got to handle rejection. Then you got to manage pain and discomfort. These are the signs that you are emotionally stable. That you manage pain and discomfort. Remember, I told you this today. I said pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice. That you have to now say, yeah, this hurts. But I can keep myself together while it's hurting. Yep, this is very painful. This is a tough season for me. But I can keep myself together while it's tough. I can serve faithfully. I'm not going to not be in service. No, I'm not going to stop serving. No, you ain't going to be looking for me. Why? But aren't you hurting? Yes, I'm hurting. I'm hurting bad. But I learned how to manage the hurt. Am I making sense? You know, so we manage our pain, we manage our discomfort, and then we have to learn how to do this. The third thing is accept blame. See, I want you to understand. I didn't say if it was right to blame you. See, there you go. That's emotional stability. You've got to learn how to accept the blame. Dr. Moody, where did you get that from? Listen, Jesus took the blame for all of us. He did not sin, but he paid the punishment and the price for all of our sin. Am I making sense? So I want you to understand. That means you got to learn how to accept blame. You got to learn how to say, all right, okay, I'll take that. You got to know they lying. Yeah. Okay. My bad. Maybe the email didn't go through. My bad. No problem. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe it didn't. I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't text you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No. It was my fault. I did not ask you. Did you understand? That's on me.
For worshiping with us today. If you're in need of prayer or someone to talk to, our online ministers are available for you right now in the chat. And we invite you to join us again for our extraordinary worship services every Sunday at 10:30 a.m., Sunday at 4 p.m., and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central. where Dr. Moody teaches how to understand the Bible and you can get your biblical questions answered. We look forward to connecting with you and ask that you subscribe to TheROCKATX on YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay connected to all The Rock is doing. Also, you can connect with us through our website at TheROCKATX.org. Again, thank you for worshiping with us, and be blessed.